So I had this thought the other day as to why people hesitate around processing their emotions. I, of course, want everyone to start the journey because I have just seen people's worlds open up in the most incredible ways in all facets of their life, not just health, but we're talking about family, relationships, business, career opportunities, and their money relationship. I had a woman the other day who's very active in processing her emotions. She just got started and she's on such a roll that she's like, what else can I release on? Because so many opportunities keep on landing in her life. There are so many realizations. She said, is it just that you just keep on releasing and then magic and opportunities keep on landing in your life? I was like, well, for some people, yeah, pretty much it's as easy as that. That's why I just want everyone to give a go of using the release process to process their emotions, decipher the message, and see what it is they can actually call in. It is a very easy process that if you're just willing to actually get it wrong at the start and get some feedback, magic can start to happen. It's not that hard to get the hang of it. So, of course, I do also want to say that all of your answers are not always in a release. This is a nuanced journey, but for a lot of people, through processing your emotions, you can resolve pain, you can regain health, you can bring happiness into your life. And processing your emotions, I say, is that first phase of discomfort that most people avoid because as humans, we don't like to be uncomfortable. So I'm also going to read fear number 2 from chapter 10 in my book, Healing Beyond the Diagnosis. This chapter, chapter 10, is all about the 5 biggest fears that hold people back from doing the emotional work. And fear number 2 ties in with that. What is it? It is, what if I don't feel or have the capacity to hold what comes up? But first, the thought that landed for me to help the storytelling aspect of this is I feel like doing emotional work is like people going to the doctor. And I don't know if you've had this experience. I'm not one to go to the doctor very often, but when you feel like, oh, okay, I've had this cold, I've had this flu, I've had this bug, I've had this discomfort in my body. It could even be going to an osteopath, a physio, a chiropractor. It doesn't just have to be a doctor, but it's seeking out support from a professional that can help you with, let's talk about health. So you experience this discomfort and you think, I'm going to get better in a few days. A few days later, it's still there. I'll give it another couple of weeks. And you keep on putting it off thinking that you're just going to come right. And then you're a few months down the track and you realize, oh my gosh, I've still got this sickness, I've still got this bug, I still have this discomfort in my body. And from my own personal experience and also working with many people, is that they tend to put things off for such a long time until maybe it hits a crisis point. So there's different constitutions, different personalities, there's different things that drive us. It's like, how painful does it need to get before you do something about it? But I feel like this is a great analogy to use for why people hesitate around emotional work is because I think that sometimes when you avoid going to the doctor or you procrastinate going to the doctor and this thing just keeps on getting worse and worse, it's because you're worried about what they might find. That whole what if it is, and I know the mind can go to some crazy places, especially if you have health anxiety. The mind can go, oh my gosh, well, what am I going to have to do? What am I going to have to change? What other appointments am I going to have to go to? I don't have the time. How much is this going to cost me? I don't have the money. And so all of a sudden, there's more worry around what could go wrong. What is the worst case scenario? Rather than what if I'm just told that it's actually nothing and that gives me peace of mind? Because I often think, gosh, the stress of this and not actually knowing or going on the path to or the journey to find out is more stressful and going to have more of a negative impact. So, have a think about this. Is this you where you hold things off until they become incredibly uncomfortable, that they're really impacting your life, and you realize, I've been thinking about this for weeks, I've been thinking about this for months, hoping it's going to get better, but actually I'm avoiding getting support because I'm worried, what are they going to find and what am I going to have to change? Okay. So that was my thought, and I'm going to read out fear number 2 in chapter 10 of my book, which is about the 5 biggest fears when it comes to emotional work that I have seen. Fear number 2 is, what if I don't feel or have the capacity to hold what comes up? And this is in a very similar light to avoiding going to the doctor for a physical health issue or, whatever other practitioner you need to go and see. If this has gone through your mind, it's likely because you already have a full life, work, family, responsibilities. The idea of adding deep emotional work on top of that feels overwhelming. You might wonder if you'll have time to process everything, if emotions will take over and leave you unable to function, or if you'll start and get stuck. Remember the 2 key reasons you don't process emotions. 1, you don't know how. 2, you're too busy and it's inconvenient. The reality is, time doesn't magically appear. I want you to know you already know how to do this. Think about major life changes. There's no perfect time to have a baby, start a business, move countries, or receive a diagnosis. Yet when these things happen, you make time, you shift your priorities, you adapt. Emotional work is no different. You don't wait until life gives you space, you create it. The difference is that this time it's your choice. When you build your capacity for emotional work, you're actually building your capacity for success and calling in all that you desire. Emotions can compound in a negative way, where avoidance leads to feeling like a challenge magnet. When you choose to do this work, I'll just explain. A challenge magnet is when you keep on attracting more and more issues. Now, from the outside, I can see, oh my gosh, you just need to make a move. You just need to start processing your emotions. You just need to go to the doctor and get some clarity, and then we can move forwards. That's what a challenge magnet is, because your body and your external environment is constantly trying to send you a message that you're not ready to listen to. Okay. When you choose to do this work, the compound effect shifts in your favor. You begin moving toward the version of yourself who can hold more success, love, and opportunities with ease. Okay, that's just the most significant part of fear 2. What if I don't have capacity to hold what comes up? You can read the rest in my book, Healing Beyond the Diagnosis. Okay, so yeah, this was just a little thought. I think it helps to share different stories, different experiences we have in life to draw a comparison to see how we show up for ourselves. So, I, of course, would love everybody to go on the journey of processing their emotions, but I also have got to let go of the responsibility of the journey that people choose to walk. I have just seen so many opportunities be called into people's lives, and that is not why they came into processing their emotions. Usually it's because there was a pain that was speaking to them, that maybe they have gone to the doctors, the specialists, the other different support people out there, and they haven't been able to give them the answers or the relief. And they have been drawn to do the deeper emotional work. And this is where I also have to let go of how people choose to interact with the work. I can teach you, I can guide you, I can support you, and honestly, I hope you're one of the stories that I get to share one day, like the ones in my book or the people that I've been interviewing on my podcast recently, where you are just talking about the crazy stories, the opportunities, the turnarounds in your life because you simply started to process your emotions. And this is a reminder for those of you who have been putting something off and you have this intuitive spidey sense that, oh, something's not quite right. Just, yeah, I hear you with being concerned. What are they going to find? What time, what money is it going to um, actually require for me to go on this journey. And just go and find out, give yourself some peace of mind. At least you will know what is the next step that I need to take. And look, if I do find something, I do work with people who have got existing chronic illness, who are navigating complex health conditions, who have been for many, many years, and they have still been able to get such almost miraculous results through processing your emotions. We're not just addressing health, we are looking at all facets of life. So see if you can see yourself in the fear that I shared about, do you have capacity? What if I don't have capacity to hold what comes up when it comes to emotional work? And likewise, or maybe you're both, where you're hesitating, actually seeking support because you're concerned about what you will find. Everything is for a reason. Everything has crossed our paths because it is a message, it is an opportunity. And I would love for you to be able to have the confidence to go and find out and just know that you will be able to handle it. Okay. Universe doesn't send you anything that you are not ready for.